as a Christian, you hammered really on the word. You still had to run back to the word. How did the word help you?
The word, just made me realize the things I was going through. It was like a roadmap, I would read, I would stumble to things like, I would read the story of Job, for example. It's like,
which you wrote a chapter on as well.
Wow, this was, sometimes we read these stories in the Bible and we think, oh, it's just a fable, some, heroic film trick. But these people were real. And when you look at someone else's pain, and sometimes when it's even more than yours, you sort of take a back seat and say, you know what, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
You did good, God, And so the word is like, the Bible calls it salt, calls it water, So it does a lot. It heals the infected wound. It makes sure that it gets better. It washes you. It purifies you. It strengthens you. It gives you light. When there's no dark, there's everywhere around you is dark. You can't see. There were times when I just couldn't see how possible it would be to move on without my mom. I had never thought about it. Like, oh, you mean there is a without a mom life? And so you start to get in the Word, and the Word is God. The Word is Jesus. You literally are encountering this person called God, this person called Jesus, physically, as you study the Word. Because the Word, all of a sudden, I remember I would wake up, and I would it was like I was eating the Bible. I would read, the Holy Spirit would wake me up at night, 3 a.m., 2 a.m. I'll read the Bible till morning. Because obviously there was something that was doing for me. I may not have seen it then, which is also...
That's very valid.
Which is also why I talked about the isolation, because it was a time when I decided, okay, I'm not staying in Lagos. I'm going to serve in Jos. I could have, stayed in Lagos, but I just felt that something calling me out of here. I needed to go somewhere quiet, and that season of my life probably just changed it, entirely.
Wow.
Just be away and just be with me. Come away, So.
Fantastic.
The powerful thing about gratitude is that it's actually logically, practically impossible for you to be angry and grateful at the same time. Just try it.
It's impossible for you to be angry and grateful at the same time.
One of them has to live for the other to exist. And so the moment I center my attention, my emotions, my consciousness on what God has done, and the fact that I'm breathing without the respiratory support machine, the fact that I can see, distinguish between the pink and the blue, or the black and the white, and the red and the pink, all of those gifts the money cannot buy already place me in a place or in a sphere of strength, and I'm no longer like, oh, I have nothing to live for and nothing to do. So a lot of people remain angry because that's their focus. And whatever you focus on, you give life to. Whatever you focus on becomes magnified in your experience.
Yeah.
So if I focus on what God has done and the positive things in my life, then that grows in my world and becomes my real experience.
And the thing is, there's always something. I think that's something I have learned to believe. No matter how bad things get, there's just like you said, congrats, you're alive.
Yes.
The fact that you woke up,
yes,
you're breathing.
You're breathing.
You're walking.
God told me once, I had a headache and I was feeling quite bad about it. And God said it's only those who have heads that can have a headache. So don't complain about the ache.
Thank God for the head. So who is a leader?
Okay, I think there are various definitions. First, let me say that leadership has nothing to do with position. The fact that a man has position doesn't mean that that person is a leader. Leadership is behavioral. I know a leader by the behaviors that I see. And one critical behavior is the ability to accept responsibility. In the book, I talked about the difference between a male and a man. That a male is based on the chromosome. A man is just sense of responsibility. So a leader is someone that accepts responsibility for others, for their benefit. When somebody can accept responsibility for a group, for a nation, for a state, for a department, and for the benefit of those people that you accept responsibility for, then you're a leader, irrespective of your title or your position. That's, for me, the foundational definition of a leader, someone that accepts responsibility for others for their benefit.
In fact, I'll read a quote from the book, from page 9, and you said, great leaders are usually not ambitious for positions or power, but they are forced by situations and circumstances and the plight of the human condition to accept the responsibility of leading their people. So it's not like they just woke up and said, I want to be a leader. But something
drove them. Like Nelson Mandela, what drove him is simply appetite. And that was what drove him to accept responsibility for South Africans. And notice that when he became president, after a while he stepped down because he said the only reason why he took that position was to bind the whole of South Africa, to get that. Because he just noticed that if he did not put himself forth, the democracy that was just starting would have been destroyed. So he decided to put himself forth, but it wasn't position. He didn't become great because he was the president of South Africa. He became great because as Nelson Mandela, he stood for his people, he defended his people, he fought for his people, and sacrificed his life for that.